I knew something was wrong the second those lights hit my mirror. Not wrong like a broken taillight or expired tag. I mean the kind of wrong you feel in your chest before your brain catches up, the kind that makes the air feel heavier for no reason at all. And what gets me is I'd been on the other side of that exact moment hundreds of times, pulling people over, watching their hands, reading their faces, telling them to stay calm. So believe me when I say I recognize the feeling before it even had a name. I was in full uniform, badge out, radio on, driving a marked unit that practically shouted police from every angle, and still those red and blues came up behind me like I was just another guy they'd picked at random. Yeah, that happened. I signaled ease to the curb, hands on the wheel, nice and visible like I'd told civilians to do for 15 years because procedure is procedure, right? 2 patrol officers walked up, one tight to my window, the other hanging back near the passenger side like I might bolt. And the first thing the lead guy said wasn't hello, wasn't evening, it was, keep your hands where I can see them. I remember blinking once and thinking, all right, maybe they don't see the uniform yet, maybe the light's weird. So I kept it calm and said, they are. And he goes, don't reach for anything, voice flat, like he'd already decided something about me. I told him who I was, title, division, everything nice and clear, even said they could verify me on the radio, and you'd think that'd be the moment things settled down, you know what I mean? Like when you realize you've dialed the wrong number and you hang up real quick. But no. He just stared, jaw tight, eyes locked like he was waiting for me to slip up. Then he told me to step out. Now that's the moment it shifted, not outside, inside, because I felt it, that quiet click when you realize this stop isn't about what they said it was about. I asked why, calm, professional, same tone I used in interrogations, and he said officer safety, which is one of those phrases that can mean anything if you want it to. So I stepped out, slow hands visible, partner comes in, closer stance, wide, watching me like I'm a suspect instead of a colleague. And I'm thinking, okay, they're gonna run the verification, and we'll all laugh about this in 30 seconds. Only they didn't. Instead, the first officer starts asking where I'm headed, what I'm doing out here, questions that don't match a plate check stop questions you ask when you're fishing. I kept my answers short, factual, because I know how that game works. The more you talk, the more they twist. He pats me down, professional hands but tense shoulders, like he expects to find something that'll justify the whole scene. Silence hangs there, thick as fog. Finally, he radios something and listens, and I swear you could see the exact second his confidence dropped like a balloon losing air. Shoulders loosened, stance softened, tone changed. All right, he said, you're free to go. That was it. No apology, no explanation, not even eye contact. Just go. I nodded, got back in my cruiser, and drove off. Like nothing happened, but inside my head, every detail was replaying frame by frame because that's what detectives do. We don't chase noise, we chase patterns. That night, I wrote everything down. Time, location, their badge numbers, exact wording, not emotions, not opinions, facts, because facts don't get dismissed as attitude. Next morning, I requested system logs, plate queries, dispatch timestamps, GPS records, all the stuff that doesn't lie even when people do. And that's when the air started smelling funny. Replies came back slow. Not denied, just delayed. We're looking into it. Records is backed up. Give us time, and if you've ever worked inside a system, you know delay can be a language all its own. Then came the twist I didn't see coming. Someone slipped me audio from the stop, not gossip, not rumor, actual recording. Turns out those officers kept talking after I drove off, thinking nobody important was listening. I sat alone at my desk, headphones on pressed play, and what came through wasn't stress talk or tired cop venting. It was insults, personal ugly, the kind of language people use when they think the door's closed and the lights are off. I didn't yell, didn't slam anything. I just grabbed a pen and started marking timestamps because right then it stopped being a feeling and started being evidence. I reported it the right way, clean and official, figured the system would see what was obvious and handle it. Instead, the questions started coming back at me. Why was I pushing this? Why not let it go? Why make it a thing? Funny how fast concern shifts direction when truth makes people uncomfortable. Then I started hearing whispers about their statements that they were saying I'd been difficult, that I acted like I didn't have to comply, that I escalated tone. Classic move. If the stop looks bad, make the driver look worse. Then came the part that really told me what game we were playing. Suddenly there were questions about whether I was authorized to be in my unit, whether I'd violated policy, whether I was where I was supposed to be. None of that had anything to do with the stop, all of it had everything to do with flipping the spotlight. That's when I stopped thinking like an officer and started thinking like someone building a case. I hired a lawyer, quiet type detail hunter. First thing she asked me was, what proof exists outside memory? That question right there changes everything because memory argues, but data doesn't. We pulled logs, timestamps, query histories, GPS trails, and guess what showed up? Or didn't. The plate check they claimed triggered the stop never existed in the system. No record, no query, nothing. Like saying you checked your watch and the watch says you never looked. Depositions came next under oath. No hallway talk, no locker room confidence. First officer stuck to his line, said he acted out of caution. My attorney leaned forward calm as a Sunday morning and asked, "What exact time did you run the plate?" Silence. Which system? Longer silence. You can't improvise timestamps. Second officer tried distance, said he was just backup, but when you support a story, you own part of it and their accounts didn't match each other. Didn't match the logs, didn't match the audio. Once contradictions show up under oath, things unravel fast. Internal accusations against me collapsed too once records proved I was exactly where I was supposed to be on duty authorized by the book. Funny how quickly suspicion fades when paperwork walks in. Soon their assignments changed, not loudly, not publicly, just quietly shifted because lawsuits don't just threaten headlines, they threaten budgets. Inside the department, reactions split. Some folks avoided me like I'd broken an unwritten rule. Others pulled me aside and whispered support like it was contraband. You learn real quick who values comfort and who values truth. The city had a choice then. Fight it in court and risk a jury hearing that recording, or settle and keep control of the narrative. Trials are funny. You never know what 12 strangers will think when they hear what someone said when they thought nobody was listening. Negotiations started. Policy meetings popped up. New verification rules, stricter camera enforcement, updated procedures. Amazing how fast reform moves when evidence gets a case number. Through all of it, I stayed quiet, publicly didn't rant online, didn't chase attention because noise fades, but records stay. And in the end, that's what forced the truth out. Not anger, not shouting, just documentation sitting there refusing to change. What stuck with me most, though, wasn't the outcome, it was the lesson. The uniform didn't protect me. The badge didn't protect me. The only thing that protected me was evidence. 'Cause if it could happen to me, a guy inside the system, it can happen to anybody outside it. So let me ask you something honestly. If you were in that seat, pulled over, doubted, then quietly pressured to drop it once it was over, would you push it all the way like I did, knowing it might cost you comfort, maybe even friendships? Or would you let it slide because technically you got to drive away? Tell me what you think, and if you've ever seen something like this happen, at work, on the street, anywhere. Drop your story in the comments because the truth only gets louder when more people are willing to say it out loud.